It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet have won once already this year, and today's winner will be coming back to play Rogers Heights in the semifinals. Let's meet the teams now. First from North Forestville Elementary, please say hello to Brandon Johnson, Kiara Smith, and Jamaica Wiggins. And from Phyllis C. Williams Elementary School, please welcome Sochima Ezenwajiku, Tren Pearson, and Caroline Chuku. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl on our game board, we have the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. We penalize them not at all for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, we will have a competitor for Rogers Heights in the quarterfinals. So make sure everything works properly. Let's go to North Forestville. Kiara, try your buzzer for me. Thank you. Good luck to you, to Jamaica, and to Brandon. And Trin, would you try yours? Thank you, sir, and good luck to you, to Caroline and to Soshima. Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's have a great game. May the better team win. We go alphabetically on Science Bowl, N before P. So North Forestville and Kiara, let's start the game.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points to start our game. Teams, your question is as follows. If someone is suffering from renal failure, they either have to have this organ dialyzed or transplanted. What organ are we talking about? All right, North Forestville.
Lung.
Not the lung. Phyllis C. Williams, good try. If you have renal failure, what organ has to be either dialyzed or transplanted? Yes, sir.
The kidney.
Say it again.
The kidney.
The kidney, that's right. Say it with confidence because you got it right. Kidney dialysis and kidney transplant is the #1 organ transplanted in this country. All right, green.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, in Shakespeare's Macbeth, there was a group of witches that were dumping some strange things into the boiling pot. Boil, boil, cauldron, bubble. This is what they added. Eye of newt, toe of frog, wool of bat, and tongue of dog. Whoa. There were 2 mammals in there and 2, what other kind of animals? All right, Kiara.
Amphibians.
You got that right. The newt and the frog were the amphibians, and the bat and the dog were the mammals. Wouldn't want to eat that soup. Go. Red.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, we humans are omnivores, and the evidence for that is in our mouth. I will give you 25 points if you can give me the 2 kinds of teeth that identify us as both partly carnivorous and partly herbivorous. The 2 kinds of teeth in your mouth for 25 points. All right, come on, Tren.
Canines and incisors.
Canines and incisors. Good try. Good try. Not quite. North Forestville, you can get the points if you can give me the 2 kinds of teeth that identify us as partly carnivorous, partly herbivorous.
Canines and cuspids.
Cuspids. Not quite, not quite. We're looking for canines. You both got canines. Molars. Molars, the ones in the back for grinding down the plant material that we eat. Nicely tried. Go. Red.
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, We all love that book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. All those caterpillars are hungry, but most of them eat leaves. There is one caterpillar in Hawaii, though, that seeks out and kills and eats bugs. What kind of caterpillar is it? It is a carnivorous caterpillar. Carnivorous because it eats meat. Try again, red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, most of the time, jellyfish means stay away. They got stinging tentacles. But in New Guinea, there is a kind of jellyfish that lives in a lake. It has no stinging tentacles. It doesn't need them because it gets all of its food from the algae that live inside of itself. The algae undergo what food-making process common to plants that produces enough food for the jellyfish as well? Okay, P.E. Williams.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis, absolutely right. The only jellyfish that has photosynthesizing algae within their own bells. Go, green.
Zooparade for 15.
Zooparade for 15 points. All right, look at the monitor in the studio, please. We have a picture with this question, teams. This extinct rhinoceros lived at the same time as the mammoth. And both of them had what same descriptive adjective before their names? Phyllis E. Williams.
Woolly.
Woolly, the woolly rhinoceros and the woolly mammoth. See how shaggy that thing was? Didn't need any fur coat after that. Nicely done, Trin. Go green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, if you eat too much, you get a big stomach, but it might not be all your fault. It turns out that there are certain genes that can give you what kind of belly? North Forestville. Yes, ma'am. It's on the tip of your tongue. Try it, Phyllis E. Williams. You can get this kind of belly. Blame it on the genes and not your appetite.
A pot belly?
Pot belly, that's right, like those pot-bellied pigs. Go green.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Seems a multiple choice question. If your friend kicks you in the shins, maybe they're not your friend. If they kick you in the shins, which of the following bones takes the brunt of the swat? Is it the femur, the radius, or the tibia? Which of those three takes the brunt of a kick in the shins, Trin?
A femur?
Not the femur, nope. Is it the femur? I'll repeat the question, North Forestville. This will be the last question before the break. If you're kicked in the shins, which of the following bones takes the brunt of the swat? Is it the femur, the radius, or the tibia?
Tibia?
The tibia, that's right, one of the two lower leg bones. All right, and with that, we come to the end of the first round. Our score is Phyllis E. Williams, 115, North Forestville, 75. We'll be back with round two in just a moment. And welcome back to Science Bowl. We hope you're enjoying this game. Some tough questions, but some equally tough competitors. Let's talk to them. If you didn't get a chance to meet them the first time they were on the show, let's find out about them anew. Kiara, nice to have you here. Tell us about North Forestville. I know you have great teachers there, great principal. Who is your principal?
Mrs. Ellis.
Mrs. Ellis, and Miss Wendy Limon is your wonderful, esteemed sponsor, and she's here today. Any alternates on your team?
Daryl Davis and Jasmine Freeman.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out with Miss Lamond in just a few moments. Kiara, there are a lot of good things that happen at North Forestville. What are some extracurricular activities that you can participate in there that you like and some of your friends like? Is there any musical group down there? Can you be in a chorus or a band?
Yes.
Okay. And how about any sports teams? Are there any sports teams? Do you have any intramural? Do you ever play during gym? Do you have like basketball or volleyball or something like that?
Soccer.
Soccer? That's great. Okay. Kiara, tell us again, because you told us the first time you were here, what you want to do when you get older.
Be a forensic scientist.
Yeah, both you and Jamaica love that CSI program, Crime Scene Investigation. Yeah, it's been on a long time. What do you learn from that program, Jamaica?
I learned some interesting facts about science and how to do different experiments.
Yeah, and you have to have a good science. You also have to have good common sense, don't you? You have to look at something and say, boy, that doesn't just look right. And sometimes the tiniest thing, you know, the sliver of glass will tell you whether it blew out or in, and it can tell, you know, where that projectile came from. So really, it's a great program, a good program to be a better student. Jamaica, tell us what you do in your spare time.
In my spare time, I play soccer and I do Girl Scouts.
That's right. And you're a cadet now, aren't you?
Yes.
How do you get to be a cadet?
First, you have to start at daisies or brownies, and then you move up per level.
Wow. Is there a rank above cadet?
Yeah.
What could you aim for?
I think it's ambassadors.
Ambassador. Wow, that's a great title to shoot for. You would be a good one, too. And Brandon, nice to have you here, young man. Tell us the Brandon story. What do you do in your spare time?
I play basketball with my friends.
Yeah.
I also like to conduct science experiments in my spare time.
Yeah. And you have like a little lab at home, or do you do this in the basement or the kitchen? Where do you do your experiments?
Where I feel comfortable, usually in the basement, maybe.
In the basement, yeah, that's probably a good place. And you aspire to be a scientist someday, don't you? That or?
That or a basketball player.
Or a basketball player. We wish you well in those aspirations. Phyllis C. Williams, nice to have you guys here in your matching yellow shirts over there. The Wildcats are in the house. Trent, tell us about P.E. Williams. What do you like best about your school?
Well, I like all the after-school activities, and I like science and math, and I kind of like social studies, and we do a lot of activities.
Tell me about some of these extracurricular activities. What can you do after school?
After school, we could go to course, or we could go to science bowl practice, and they're starting a math club.
Yeah, that's great.
And a basketball team.
And a basketball team. Thank you, Sochima, for helping them out to remember some of those things. And Science Bowl Club, obviously you guys went all the time because you're doing so well. Trent, when you get older, you want to be a professional football or basketball player or?
A game creator.
Game creator, all
That's
right.
workout.
That's wonderful. Nice to have you back. Caroline, nice to have you here, young lady with 3 younger siblings. And she gets lots of practice being a pediatrician, which is what she wants to be when she gets older. What advice do you have for older brothers and sisters about taking care of younger ones?
Some advice that I have would be to make sure you take a shower every day, brush your teeth, and when you're playing outside, be sure to take care of yourself and make sure you don't get too many injuries.
Wonderful. Spoken like a real older sister over there. I'm sure they're lucky to have you. And you've got a leaf raking service, too. Wish you well. Really good to have in the fall. So, Chima, tell us about yourself. You want to be a cardiologist. How did you get interested in the heart?
Well, I found the heart is a pretty interesting factor because it is not really the main thing, but it is very important to your body and it helps you stay alive because it gives you oxygen-rich blood and it pumps out the blood without oxygen.
Absolutely. I know the Egyptians thought the heart was everything. They didn't care much for the brain. Of course, now we know, we're enlightened, we know how important the brain is, but the heart, without that, nothing else works, does it? You know, it keeps going, it never complains and never stops until we're finished, right? Yes, pretty much. All right, let's get back to our game. P.E. Williams 115, North Forestville 75. Last correct answer came from the red team. So, Kiara, start us out.
Let's get physical for 20.
For 20 points. Interesting question. Teams, you know how smelly gym socks are? Well, nowadays they don't smell so much. Why? Because little nanoparticles are put inside the socks. These particles have an antifungal agent that is the second most common precious metal. The second of the most precious metals is put inside your sock. What metal are we talking about? Second most important precious metal. All right, Kiara.
Iron.
Again? Iron? Not iron. Precious metal. Precious. Phyllis C. Williams, the second most precious metal. Tiny bits of it are put into gym socks, and somehow that keeps fungus from growing. Go figure.
Silver.
You got that right. Gold is the most precious, and silver is second. Good job. Go, green.
Zoo Parade for 25.
Zoo Parade for 25. Big one in that category, teams. Some very exciting news. Scientists now think that they're very close to developing a vaccine for malaria, which is carried by mosquitoes. This would be the first vaccine ever against a disease that is caused by one of these P-initialed creatures. What kinds of P-initialed creatures can get inside your body and cause disease? P-initialed. Come on, Kiara.
Parasites.
You got that right. You got yourself 25 points and you're up to 100. All right, nicely done. All other vaccines are against viruses. This would be the first parasite. Go.
Let's give science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Teams, what same four-letter word has the following 3 definitions? It can be a crack in a rock that is filled with minerals. It can be a vessel or a tube inside of a leaf, or it can be a blood vessel that returns blood to your heart. What same word applies to all? Kiara?
Vein.
A vein, that's right. A vein of ore, a vein in a leaf, and a vein in your hand. Good, go. 15 points behind.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. Look at the monitor. Visual question, teams. We all know about the northern lights. They occur at the North Pole and the South Pole, all because of the strong magnetic field surrounding our Earth. I will give you 25 points if you can give me the other name by which northern lights is known. All right, for 25 points, come on, P.E. Williams.
Aurora.
You got that right. The Aurora Borealis at the North Pole, the Aurora Australis at the South Pole. 25 extra points. Go, Trin.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, Jupiter was recently impacted by one of these tailed celestial bodies that crashed right into it. What tailed celestial body was it, Kiara?
Comet.
A comet, that's right, the Temple-Tuttle Comet. And we were able to witness it through telescopes here on Earth. Thank you. Nice assistance there from Brandon. Go, Kiara.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, the petals on a flower are often confused with this other part of the flower that almost is spelled the same way. It's the part that covers the bud and forms the cup in which the flower blooms. What is that plant part that sounds like petals? All right, Kiara.
Pistil.
Not pistil. Good try. Nice try. Thank you, Jamaica. All right, Phyllis C. Williams. The plant part that covers the bud and then forms the cup of the blooming flower sounds like petals and is often confused with petals. Correct answer is sepals or sepals. S-E-P-A-L-S. Sepals or sepals. Go red, Kiara. 25 points back.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, the three most popular warm beverages on Earth all come from trees. I'll give you 15 points if you can give me the three most popular warm beverages that we drink that come from trees. All right, North Forestville.
Hot cocoa, coffee, and tea.
You got them. Nicely done, Kiara. You got all three. Got yourself another 15. Go, Kiara. 10 points back.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri for 25 points. Teams, listen carefully. Shellfish, like shrimp and lobster and oysters, are not real fish because they lack what characteristic structure in their body? What is it that they lack that all fish have, P.E. Williams?
Gills.
Not gills. Good try. North Forestville, a shellfish is not a real fish because they all lack what important structural component in their bodies?
Fins.
Not fins, a backbone. A backbone. They are all invertebrates. All fish are vertebrates. Go again, red.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, what do you call an earthquake that takes place after another earthquake? North Forestville.
An aftershock.
An aftershock, absolutely right. Thank you, Brandon. Go, red. 5-point lead.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, Giant Foods home delivery service is named for this green elongated seed vessel. North Forestville.
Bebop. Peapod.
Peapod is right. I like bebop too. Peapod is good. Jamaica says, just listen to me. Nicely done. Okay, Red, go.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Triton is the largest moon of this third largest and outermost planet. Red.
Jupiter.
Not Jupiter. Good try. Phyllis C. Williams. The third largest and outermost planet has this moon, Triton. Can you name the planet, Trin?
Neptune.
You got that right because Pluto has been deplanetized. Neptune it is. Good. Go. Green.
Zooparade for 5.
Zooparade for 5 points. Teams, if someone just doesn't fit in, they're said to be like one of these animals out of water. Nobody? P. Williams?
Fish out of water.
Fish out of water, absolutely right. A fish out of water. With that, we have a tie score, 175 all. Good playing. Go green.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, what branch of science gives us these everyday phrases? Being on the same wavelength, free fall, and quantum leap.
Gravity.
What branch of science, Kiara?
Gravity.
Not gravity, no, the branch of science. The branch of science. Being on the same wavelength, free fall, and quantum leap. Trin.
Chemistry.
Physics. Physics was the right answer. Go green.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, oh, this makes us nervous. Satellite images now reveal that these largest and most ferocious of predatory fish are spending a lot more time closer to our beaches than we would like. All right, specific answer, please. Specific answer, North Forestville.
Shark.
Specific answer.
Tiger shark.
Not tiger shark, Phyllis C. Williams.
Great white shark.
Great white shark is what we want to hear. Yes, indeed. Go green. 2 minutes left in our game. Yes, sir.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, at Christmas, if you deck the halls with boughs of holly, what parts of the plant are you putting on the wall? What is a bough? Trin?
Leaves.
Not a leaf. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. What are boughs? What plant part, Kiara?
Stems.
Branches. Branches. Go green. Trin?
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, people who are all upset in this country now about politics have named their group after the same group that dumped all of that beverage into Boston Harbor back when the country was founded because they didn't want to pay taxes on it. What kind of party are they calling themselves, Kiara?
Boston Tea Party.
Tea Party is absolutely right. Good, go. Red.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, listen carefully. Recently, they took a poll to try to discover what was the most important scientific invention or discovery of all time. It wasn't the Apollo space capsule. It was not penicillin. It was this machine that lets us know whether we broke our bones. Phyllis C. Williams.
X-ray.
X-ray machine. Absolutely right. Good. Go. Green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, there are no lunar eclipses on Mercury or Venus because those planets have no whats? North Forestville.
Moon.
Moons, that's right. There are no moons on either of those. Go red.
Science for 20. Dayline science for 20.
Dayline for 20 points. Teams, multiple choice question. Listen carefully. They recently found a fossil that they think is the missing link for reptiles. They call it Darwinopterus. Darwinopterus. Listen to that name and tell me, does that tell you that fossil came from a creature that can swim, is very big, or has wings? Which of those three, North Forestville?
Swim.
Not swim, no. Phyllis C. Williams. Darwinopterus. Very big, can swim, or has wings.
Wings.
Wings, absolutely right. Opterus means a winged creature. The buzzer has sounded. What a game. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back. When sponsor Wendy Lamont came in, she said, that was awesome. Was it ever? What a game we had today. Look at that tally today. That is rare here on Science Bowl. Our final score, North Forestville 185, Phyllis C. Williams 220. Congratulations, P.E. Williams. We're going to see you against Rogers Heights in the semifinals. And say hello to all the alternates back there. First of all, congratulations to Sochima and Trent and Carolyn. You never lost your cool. Finally, a smile from Trent. Finally, after all this. Say hi to Tracy, Joshua, John, and Isis, and Miss Carla Burgess and Miss Ruby Haraway. Thank you for a wonderful game today. Thank you, North Forestville. What a game. You kept us on the edge of our chair. Brandon and Kiara and Jamaica. Let's see some smiles there, too. Back there, we've got Jasmine, Denron, and the very proud Miss Wendy Lamont. Thank you, Wendy, and thank you for watching. See you next time on Science Bowl. Bye now.